Today we are going to look at some different ways that you can use writing prompts in your classroom. The nice thing about writing prompts is there is little to no prep. So I created my own writing prompts that I felt fit with my 4th and 5th grade classroom. I would say these writing prompts are good for 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th, and 6th. You could choose them for higher grades, completely up to you. For example, you are traveling through space and discover a planet. Describe that planet. And then I have some type of example at the bottom. I noticed with writing prompts at different times, students will be like, I don't know where to start. What should I write about? So at the bottom, I have like a little bit of a way for them to get started on writing. Planet size, shape, color, and who lives on that planet. This gives students some idea of what to write about and how to brainstorm. So first, one thing I do like about using writing prompts is having the students brainstorm. I always said brainstorming is our first step in our writing process. So if they were confused, they didn't know where to start, I told them to start with a brainstorm. Next, studies consistently show that students do better in writing by writing. So we know that writing prompts can be a great way for students to just start writing. There's not a lot of pressure, there's not a lot of rules, you're just getting in there and writing. So first, the best way to use writing prompts is to have no rules. You are going to tell the students, I'm going to give us a writing prompt and your goal is just to write for the certain amount of time. It can be 10, 15, 20 minutes. And again, you want to encourage them to brainstorm first. So you're going to put up the writing prompt. You are having the best day ever. What is it like? So you're going to say, here is our writing prompt. I will read it. You are having the best day ever. What is it like? Okay, and then you can tell the students, for example, what are you doing? Who are you with? Any extra details. So then you're going to say, I'm going to put a timer on the board and I want you to brainstorm and then write out your writing prompt. Again, we're not looking for complete sentences and paragraphs, and this goes into number 2. You can use a writing prompt to start a creative writing piece, and then you can go through the whole writing process with your class. Let's say you are gone one day and you have a writing period or a free period. I like to insert a writing prompt. The nice thing is, again, all you are using is this one card. So you put the card out for the sub, and I would have practiced this writing prompt skill with my class ahead of time so they know what is expected. And all students have to do is take out a piece of paper and a pencil and write for that certain amount of time. And there is your prep for when a sub comes. Super easy. Let's say that I had taught informative writing last week. We all finished with the completion of that assignment, and now I'm getting ready to move on to a nonfiction piece. However, I kind of want to take a break. Teaching can be a lot of work. We all get tired, and sometimes we just want a break from, constantly being up or constantly working with students. So maybe I just want to insert a writing prompt for a couple of days. So here I am, and I say, okay, we just finished our informative piece. Today, we're just going to do a writing prompt. There's no pressure. I'm going to have the time on the board, and we are just going to write. And the next day comes along, and sometimes I've had students who really enjoyed that writing prompt. I might tell them, you can continue on your writing piece, or I have a second option for my students. You finally reach the bottom of the ocean. What is it like? Okay, so maybe my students continue their original writing prompt, and maybe my students have a new one that they get to choose from, whatever it may be. So you get to decide what works best for your class. So I created these writing prompts. The nice way to show writing prompts is I always like to laminate. When I laminate, it makes them much more shiny and pretty. So you can download these, print them out, and then you can cut them yourselves. I have a cutter because I cannot cut straight to save my life. I remember one time my dad came into my classroom and I was cutting things and he said to me, why is this so crooked? And my answer is, I don't know. I am not good at cutting things straight, so I have a cutter. But if you want, you can cut the edges a little bit nicer. That's what I tried to do. And again, it has the example on the bottom, so that way when students are really confused, such as, you have been selected by the government to invent a new holiday. What is it? So for example, what foods will you eat, the name of the holiday, and when do you celebrate it? So having those little starter pieces really helps students when they're like, that's too much for me. How can I even get to more of a basic example to start writing this writing prompt? So those are the ways that I would encourage teaching writing prompts in your classroom. One, you want to set an expectation. Today we are going to do a writing prompt. A writing prompt gives you a small idea to write a story. These are all kind of creative writing pieces. From that, you are going to brainstorm and then you can jump into your writing. I want you brainstorming for at least 5 minutes. You are going to use lined piece of paper and a pencil. I often still had to model to my students how to use paper the correct way because they a lot of times don't use it the correct way because we print out things so often. So students, just getting a piece of paper and a pencil is great. If you have Chromebooks and you want students to practice typing, have them practice writing prompts in their Chromebooks or whatever computer they use, so that way they can practice typing and writing stories on their Chromebook as well. And then of course they could always turn it into Google Classroom or you on a piece of paper. If I had a sub, I would tell them the students that were there would get 10 points of participation when the sub was there. So they still turn in their writing prompt to me. And of course, if you have Google Classroom, they can turn that in for those participation points as well. So again, super easy way to get writing in your classroom without having a lot of prep, without having too many steps. So that is the end of how can I use writing prompts in my classroom. I do have a video that goes into more detail on how to teach writing, or I have a video on how to grade more effectively. So that video goes over rubrics, how to create a rubric for free, and you can also use a rubric for your writing prompts as well if you choose. Well, I hope you have a beautiful day and thank you so much for watching my video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.